I see on Twitter. The guys who are on Twitter are quite immune to it. We all know this is the case. So over time, and the more we act and think like that, the less incentive for the media to do that. Because every time they do that, every time they report something that's slightly off, that has a bad narrative, they lose their credibility. Over time, their influence will diminish. It's not good for the long run. So short term, they can create some sensation. They lose their credibility. Over time, longer term, that's not going to diminish. So that's kind of how I view it. Short term, work with them, so we got to educate them. But at the end of the day, the longer term, that's not going to. The long term, that's kind of right message, accurate message, working with them. So we got to educate. Sorry for that long answer.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, Jess, for both those questions. So next up is Felipe. Felipe, first I'm going to ask you a question. Is that a verified blue tick or a Twitter blue tick you got there?
Oh, I'm a Twitter blue tick for a while before the verified.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, Jess, for both those questions. So next up is Felipe. Felipe, first I'm going to ask you a question. Is that a verified blue tick or a Twitter blue tick?
I did do it for the tick. I did it just for the other features like edit.
Great.
Oh, I'm a Twitter
okay, what's your question?
Yeah, my question is great. So my question is focused actually on the Binance branded exchanges. I know they're separate exchanges, but they do hold the Binance name. And if any one of those exchanges have issues, it does hurt Binance name as a whole. So will you be able to push those exchanges to publish their proof of liquidity and overall business
health? What's your question?
That's a good point. We probably could and we should. So there's a few. There's Binance Turkey. There no longer is Binance Singapore. We had to shut that down. There's a few out there. That's a good suggestion. We should ask them to do this.
Cool. Thanks, Felipe. Okay, next up is Jose.
That's a good point.
Hello, this is Jose from Benzinga. My question is, do you think it's possible that exchanges are sending funds to fake the proof of reserves, and would what you were discussing with Vitalik, the proof of reserve protocol, solve this issue, and how?
Okay, next up is Jose.
Well, number one, I don't know for sure what's going on in other exchanges.
My question is, do you think it's possible that exchanges are...
and I think there's been no reported suspicious activity, etc., related to us. They may have a valid reason for it, or they may not. It is a red flag. So just be a little bit more careful. The proof of reserve protocol, to be honest, I had a very brief discussion with Vitalik. I think he has it in his head, probably some kind of design. And he's very technical. He's very deep into this stuff. We didn't discuss in a lot of detail, but my approach would be like I would connect him with our team, and then they'll figure it out. We want to be the guinea pig for it and see how well it works. Yeah.
Great. Okay, next up is Zelu.
Hello.
Hey, please go ahead.
Hello, CZ. I wanted to talk to you about the investment to FTX that you did and how gave the exchange legitimacy to a lot of users like myself that went on the platform believing it was trustworthy. It doesn't seem fair for you to sell your stake and end up profiting while so many users were left with losses. And in all likelihood, it was probably the users' funds that FTX gave you in order not to raise any flags about their balance sheet. Do you feel obligated to give that money back to the FTX users?
Well, first of all, I think we exited as other investors came in. So I don't know what it's not possible to say which part of the funds are which. I've not seen the transaction records, etc. We invested quite early. We exited quite early. Both events are very public. We did not hide it. We did not disclose it. I understand the sentiment. We actually also have, we had 580 million worth of FTT. We sold a small portion of it. We still hold a large bag. So I think we acted in very ethical ways. I don't want to categorically sort of say, hey, we must give the money back or not, etc. We'll try to do things to help the FTX users. But the FTX users, the FTX users choose to use FTX on their behalf, right? So the information is public. I don't want to create a situation where anything goes down in the industry, Binance have to pay for it. I don't think that's right for our users and for our people. So I want to do what's fair. I want to protect the users. We want to help the industry to grow. But I don't want to categorically commit Binance to solve every problem and be responsible for every problem, be responsible for every user loss in the industry. So I got to be fair to our users. If we do that, Binance will probably become either bankrupt pretty soon, etc. That's unfair to our users. So, and on this point, I would also say, look, as a user, you also have a responsibility. You can't just blame all the responsibility to other people. When bad things happen, if you blame all responsibility always to other people, you will never be successful. You are always looking at the most responsible person for yourself, which is yourself, right? So when this FTX issue happens, many people have a lot of different responsibilities. I think, look, does the regulator have responsibility? Yes. But do they have full responsibility? Should they compensate all the users? Probably no, because regulations doesn't prevent a bad actor from acting as a bad actor. There are punishments, there are rules, but if a bad actor just want to be a bad actor, you can't prevent it per se. In this case, I think they were lying. They lied. FTX lied. Well, I think Sam lied to his employees, his users, his shareholders, regulators all around the world, and all the users. So yes, he should take the most of the blame. But at the same time, the VC investors, including us, why did we invest them? I think that accusation was actually somewhat accurate. All the VC investors that invest in FTX made a mistake. And many of them are very professional investors. Why did they not discover this problem? Some of them are very large funds. Why did they not discover this problem? So we can look into that. But again, are they fully responsible for this problem? Should they compensate all the users? Probably no. So everybody have responsibilities here. Binance, we take our responsibilities seriously, but I don't want to categorically promise, oh, Binance is going to commit to everything, etc. So that's kind of my take. I hope that's fair.
All right. Thank you, Zelu, for the question. So moving on now to Umbrella.
Yeah, firstly, thanks, CZ, for kind of speaking your mind on Twitter. You saved me and a lot of people. Our life savings with kind of what you promoted on FTX. And I guess on that is, what are your thoughts of Twitter as a community town hall? And how do we bring more light to people like the dev who I noticed you followed on Twitter, and he kind of warned us about SBF and what FTX were doing, and kind of saved quite a few people from a retail perspective money. And then secondly, on the proof of reserves, don't you think it's more prudent actually to provide an API with live wallet addresses? And this can be integrated into the June dashboard rather than snapshots, because, it's wallets on chain. Anyone can see what those balances are. Like you provide APIs for your trading, etc. I don't see why, exchanges can't provide those APIs. DeFi protocols do it all the time.
Sure. Okay, I think those are two interesting questions. I think on the first one, I think many people have tried to warn their issues here and there way before things happened. There's multiple Twitter KOLs, multiple news articles, etc. But it's impossible to say conclusively there were problems. No one, without full access to FTX database, Alamada's trading records, all the contracts, etc. It would take a very strong auditor to go through all of those things to say for 100% sure this is the problem, and this is how big the problem is. I think it's going to take many months for people to figure that out, even though even with what's happened now. So while all of these KOLs, they are trying to warn users, the people may or may not trust them. And to be honest, their information may or may not be 100% correct. So you never really know. At the end of the day, you have to apply a level of judgment yourself. Even me, I didn't know they were that insolvent until Sam called me. These things like we can suspect from outside, but it's kind of hard to know for sure unless you have full access to the data, all the internal workings, etc., which very few people had. So I think, and also there's also a lot of people who try to spread fake information to create FUD, uncertainty, doubt, etc., in the market, just to move the price around a little bit. Maybe they hold it, maybe they just bought, or maybe they just sold. They want to influence price the other way. So it's kind of hard to tell sometimes. But look, at the end of the day, follow the KOLs you trust, and you should have a good judgment on trusting good KOLs. If you follow bad KOLs that turn out to give you wrong advice, unfollow them, or long term you will likely lose money. Lose more money than you would. But no one has conclusive information. On the second part, with an API, etc., I think that's okay. But there are different interest of there are different alignment of interest issues. For example, if Binance wants to publish our API, we would prefer to use CoinMarketCap. Would every other exchange want to do that? I'm not sure. And which central platform do we use? And we're talking about this. We're talking about exchanges globally, right? For exchanges, by providing that data in real time, they are giving value to the platform they're providing, either a commercial agreement or some kind of incentive alignment, either through shareholdings or some other way to align the commercial interest. If that model is not in place, not every exchange will collaborate with that platform. So in a decentralized ecosystem, these things have to be built organically. There's no one that says, okay, for every wallet transaction you have to report to this API, and there are performance issues, right? So there are a myriad of issues. I think the first step we can do is to say, hey, why don't we lead as example and we make Binance much more transparent? Other exchanges can try to do it. And when there's a common standard somehow emerges over, if there's a common practice emerges over a period of time, somebody will probably try to make a platform to sort of collect all those information and make a CoinMarketCap kind of platform to show that. There are already many data and analytics platforms in the ecosystem, but they may not be as advanced as you described. And lastly, there are privacy issues, right? So if every time that somebody creates a new withdrawal address and is published online, etc., they could be privacy concerns. So there's a lot of different considerations. It's not as simple as, okay, we just publish all the information publicly and everyone can look at it. In an ideal world, if the human civilization is advanced enough, yes, we can make all the data completely transparent. But we bring into privacy issues today. So there are many different considerations to be considered. It's not just a simple, hey, let's publish all this data. Yes, you may solve one problem, but you may create other problems. So as an industry, we just have to explore and learn. So that's kind of what we're doing today.
Okay, thank you, Umbrella, for the question. CZ, just really quick, do you have to drop in a few minutes?
Yes, I think we can go about. Actually, let me check my calendar. I think I do have a call. Actually, okay, I'll be late for about five minutes on to the next call.
Okay. Well, it looks like my old iPhone has been struggling to keep up with 40,000 people in a Twitter space. I see now there's a couple of people that have been on the stage that I couldn't see on my other phone. So sorry about that. Sadiq, if you're there, would you want to go ahead? Okay, no problem. We can pass over then to Jason.
Hi.
Oh, sorry, Sadiq.
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead, Sadiq.
Hi, CZ. Thank you for, the proof of reserve and the announcement for the industry fund. I was going through the statistics of Trust Wallet. Trust Wallet is now 646, ranked 646, and last week it was 1,000. So coming to Trust Wallet or any other custodial wallet, you have mentioned about this, the keys. And many people are now, pushing on move your funds to the wallets, but as you have always mentioned, the technical knowledge and the the threat of losing your keys. Is there some way we can find a solution to it? Like obviously, what I see as educating more and more people. Could we could we have a bit a kind of a series of lectures or workshops where we can tell the normal users how to use a custodial wallet, sorry. And second question was regarding the proof of reserve. I know you just mentioned about the API, but can we have data on CMC? Which exchanges have declared their proof of reserves? We don't have to not to track it on chain, but just whether they have published their proof of reserves or not. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, okay. Hey, Spider, yeah, thanks for the question. On the on how to the first question is like really I actually think that's the biggest bottleneck for crypto adoption and growth. So if we can have a way to allow people to hold their own assets in their own custody securely and easily, that 99% of the general population can do it, I think DeFi is going to be huge and blockchain is going to be huge. Centralized exchanges will not exist, probably don't need to exist, which is fine, which is great. And then the DeFi world will be much better, will be much bigger, and we can do all of these wonderful things. So and that's kind of the ultimate goal. So there's no quick solution to get there in one step. I think tools need to be built, wallets needs to be built, wallet software needs to improve over time, and the education part. I fully agree. We're doing a lot on education. I wrote a 12-page article, the CZ Saifu FAQ, which that was 2.5 years ago. And the content didn't change much. We also have multiple videos, articles on Binance Academy. We talk about this topic very heavily in Binance Masterclass, which is like a classroom setting education program, which is also free from Binance. There's also countless other articles and educational material in the done by other people in the community. Well, that's my next call. So I think the education part is important, and we have all been working pretty hard towards it. But it's an incremental thing. It's like there's no magic bullet that just we do one thing, that problem is gone. I don't see that happening. So we, as an industry, we're gonna keep building tools so that this becomes easier and easier. The proof reserves reporting on CoinMarketCap is a good suggestion. But today, if we implemented that, that's probably only like a handful, like 1 or 2 exchanges that have it. So, and with only 1 or 2 exchanges that have it, it's probably easier. You can probably just track it by news. You don't need a dashboard. When say 10, 20, when 5%, 10%, 30%, 31%, 34% of the exchanges have it, then having a dashboard is useful. That may be a good idea for us to build into CMC. So on product development, is a feature so simple that you don't need a feature for it. We probably don't need to build a feature. So that's kind of my view right now. Things may change over the next few weeks as hopefully as more and more exchanges embrace proof of reserves. And if CMC could do it well, CMC could request for exchanges to provide an API for exchanges to